ladies and gents, and welcome back to another video from the Police Rehabilitation Department at Flint House. My name's Mark, I'm one of the rehab therapists, and today we're going to go through some jumping and hopping tests post ACL reconstructions. Again, just before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, like this video if it's helped you out, and let's get into the content then. So when we're looking at returning to running, returning to landing and jumping, it's really important to have some valid tests that will help us decide on when we're going to do those things. So today we're going to look at some tests that do exactly that. So post-operatively, we want to make sure that we've got some really good single leg strength before we look at this. So on a single leg squat, we want to have nice, good symmetry. We want to make sure that we can do the same number of repetitions or in and around that 90% compared to that injured leg. So making sure we've got that before we start hopping and jumping is really important as well. So we're going to look at the single hop test first. This can be used both pre-operatively and post-operative. Well, so pre-operatively, we're looking for a 90% limb symmetry index. So that is the number of repetitions you do on the injured leg divided by the number of repetitions you do on the good leg, and then times by 100. And we want that number to be greater than 90% pre-operatively, ideally. So single hop test, we're going to hop forwards from the same leg onto the same leg, and we're going to measure from the toe of the starting leg to the heel of that same leg, and that's your distance. We're going to take two valid tests and then look at an average or a mean. And the landing is just as important as the actual distance. So it's not a jump as far as you can and then fall on your face. It's jump, hold that position, nice and controlled. We can also, as I said, use the single leg hop test post-operatively. Exactly the same procedure. The only difference is we're going to want a better limb symmetry index of greater than 95% when we're looking at it post-operatively. So next up, we're going to look at the triple hop test. So the triple hop test, exactly the same as the single, apart from this time we're going to have 3 forward hops. So we're going to hop forwards, hop forwards, hop forwards, and then it's the total distance that we achieve from the toe where you start to the heel where you finish. Again, we're going to take 2 valid tests. So again, no wobbling at the end, no real deviation, no falling on your face. And we're going to take the mean of those 2 attempts, and then we're going to look for greater than 95% limb symmetry index. Remembering that's the 2 numbers, so good leg versus uninjured leg, divided, then times by 100 to give us that symmetry index. So next we're going to look at the triple crossover hop test. This is a 15 centimetre wide piece of tape up to 6 metres long, and we're going to jump from a medial position to a lateral position to a medial position. And again, we're going to take the distance from the toe to the heel of that starting limb. We're going to also look at 95% limb symmetry index, and that's the real gold standard that we're looking for here. And finally, we've got the side hop test. So these are 2 bits of tape 40 centimetres apart, and we're going to hop over them on the same leg 30 seconds. We're going to count how many times we do this without touching the tape at all, and then we're going to look at that compared to our injured leg. Again, injured versus non-injured. We're again going to look at that as a 95% limb symmetry index. So if we get 10 on one side, we want to get at least 9, 9.5 on the other side, for instance. So there we have it, ladies and gents. Good video on how to start making sure that your limb symmetry index is similar when it comes to hopping and jumping. And again, this is really important before getting back to running, before getting back to contact sports and going back to return to play of sports, certainly post ACL reconstruction. If you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've liked our channel so far, please consider subscribing. Really helps the channel out. And apart from that, I'll see you again in the next video.